What's up, everybody? This is Al the Pal 78 about to do this login and registration process right here. So, are we there? No, this is the session. So, we're gonna come here and we're gonna take this bad boy all the way to getting started, and we're gonna go through it one step at a time. So, let's open this up. We have to get to the spot that you want your folder where you want it to create the folder that your project is going to be in. And mine is on that course cd.net code. Okay, that here is where I want my stuff. So this project is called login and registration. So let's start that right here. .net new MVC. Okay, we got the no and we got the HTTPS. And before we did that, if you haven't already done this global thing right here, you might want to do that. This global thing right here, I'm gonna leave it there for a second. Let's look in here and I'm pressing my button. Let's make it bigger so you can see it. There you go. Bada boom, bada bing, and look at all these Z's right here. Okay, and now right here I'm gonna call it log and reg, just like that, because it looks cool. And we also want to type this. This is a shortcut for like make this directory, make the folder directory and all that good stuff, not just the project. And actually that goes before the name. So the dash O, and there you go. And now let's see if I did it right. All right, so far so good. There it is. Everything looks like it's going good. It made it, and we could look into that folder right now, and log and reg is created. All right, there's a couple of things we want to do before we try to code now. One of the first things we want to do is we want to put the framework core inside here for the actually talking to the SQL and the database, and the framework core designing of helping designing and writing the schemas and stuff. So I'm gonna copy both of them because I'm on Windows and you Mac users probably can't do this cool. Hopefully this works, but before I do that, we're gonna cd into log and reg, press enter. And now I'm gonna right click because Microsoft on the command prompt, if you right click, it'll start adding one command and then stop at the second command. As you can see here, it starts the first command. It puts all those packages you need in your project right there, and then it stops right here. See it blinking, you press enter, and now the second package is being entered. That's the best thing about command prompt. I mean, a lot of people say they don't like it, but not a lot of people. Now we're going to talk about creating our models. Okay, with our models with login and registration, we need a few things. We need a first name, we need a password, last name, confirm password, email. And then we're going to need an ID. We're going to need created ad and updated ad. Technically, for this project, it doesn't really care. You don't really need it, but it makes sense to put it in for practice and same sakes. All right, so here we go. We're gonna. What we're gonna do? We're gonna probably start coding right now because it's already saying, "Yo, son." Yo, son, let's do this stuff right here. Okay, this is the monster class, so we're not gonna copy all that. We're gonna do this by hand. Let's do this code right here. Bada boom, bada bing. Now for the rest of this stuff, I'm gonna clear it out so we don't have to see it on accident. And when we start making the migrations, we'll come back over here. First things first, we want to say yes, and we want to go straight to the models and make a user model. All right, new C# class, and we're gonna call it user. You gotta spell it right, or you're gonna mess up the rest of your time. And see how it gives us this stuff? It gives us this stuff. So we gotta make models. First one is gonna be called key. Now you're gonna see right here. Eventually, there will be a squiggly line. I hope, and it's gonna be like, yo, what is this about? So let's make a key. Public int and user ID. Gets not get get and set with the semicolons. Now you see it gives you the squiggly line, like what the hell is this? Well, if you control period or command period, if you're on a Mac, it's gonna tell you need this data annotations, and on top of that, copy that again, and then at the end of it put dot schema. All right, you want to have that schema there. And then you also want to have using system. And the reason we want that, we're going to put in the date time for created at and updated at. That's what that's going to be used for. So now that we got that beautiful thing right there, let's go make our. We'll put required in well, validation. That's a verification. Validations. We're gonna put validations on this afterwards. Now we don't have to put the word require here to validate this because you know it's gonna be created automatically. If it's not created, well, you did the code wrong. But once you put it in the database, which will end up being here once we do migrations, you're gonna see a log and registration database here. This is SQL Workbench. I'm gonna put that right before that one, so because I go left and right, I always mess that up. So here we go. We're gonna come over here so we can see what we need. We need first name. So let's just type everything out like this. First name, right? We need last name. We need email. We need password. We need confirm password, right? And this one is these two are gonna go last. And because this one's gonna be different, it's not gonna be required. It's just so you know when you log in, you want to make sure that the password's correct. So in here, we're gonna do we're gonna do we need created at and updated at, and let's see what these are gonna be. Well, we know the string is gonna be public. We know the first name has to be a string, right? And then we know, I'm gonna just copy this because I could just Control V that a bunch of times now. So that goes away. So let's put an enter mark here, a couple of them, and let's go and do the same thing, right? Public. And then we're gonna put string here, and then you know this is gonna be Control V, there you go, bam, that's done. Same thing with email. Public. String, email, and Control V. Now this one's gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna be public. Remember how we did the date? The using system. Well, date, time, created at. Oh no, let's we need to get and set, and now we're gonna put date time dot now. And then that's gonna end it. And this updated at is gonna be the exact same thing. All right. And these two also don't need to be required because they're gonna be generated. You're gonna make sure when you put it in the code that, or we're gonna make sure that it's already generated. So public and I'm gonna put date time in there. Date time and Control V equals the date time stuff dot now and then semicolon. All right, so we want a date thing, right? So this is also a string and password, and this is regular. And the reason I put this down here is because they're gonna have they're gonna be I want them together so we can see. And that's kind of like your models right there, right? That's all you need for models as far as what you need inside here. But we're going to make some of these things required. Like we definitely want to have this required, right? So you put the square brackets, and that's why we put all this stuff in here. And we're going to call it required right here, like it says right there. Over here it says 8. Where is it at? It has to have a minimum of length of 2 characters, right? For the last name and the first name. So these are required, and you're gonna put min length. In here, you're just gonna put a 2. The other thing I want to do as well. That should be finished. What's going on here? Oh, I have an extra one. That's all. So. Oh, this is the problem. I accidentally was inside here. That was on the outside. So yeah, there you go. We fixed that simple problem. So we want it to be 2, and it has its own what they call it, error messages. You know, we could put our own special error message. Matter of fact, we're gonna do it just for the first one. All right, we're gonna type in error message. Nope. Message equals. We're gonna put that in, and we're gonna put your first, because I'm crazy. So let's put your first name like that. Needs to be at least 2 characters, homie. All right. So if it's not 2 characters, it's gonna say that when we do validations. Now we're not gonna do that for this. We're just gonna copy required. We're gonna copy both of these actually, but we're gonna take out the error message here, and you're gonna see it has its own error messages. So, right. Another thing I like to do, and I will show you on the last name here because it's mainly for the things that have like, well, we're gonna do it for them. We're gonna make this one also have a display, and what you want to display is the name. And you want it to, and what the name is whatever is in your HTML file thing. So you'll see in a second when we write that, the name, and we're gonna have it for first name. We're gonna to be first name separated, right, like that. What even with a we don't need a space. Well, we might need a space, so let's just put it in there anyways. So we're not gonna put the display here, and you're gonna see this stuff say last name. Well, we're gonna put the display here in the required. So let's copy this. And for the email, we're gonna put required, and then we're gonna put display, and we're gonna put email, homie. Now we're gonna put email like that, so we can have that space, and we can have it say email. Now the last thing we're gonna put for email is we're gonna have it say email address. So what this email address that actually does for us, so we don't have to do anything in the anywhere else, is say, yo, this is not a valid email address. It does all those type of validations in the background, and that's why ASP.NET, the net core stuff is pretty awesome to me. Okay, this we don't need nothing to worry about. This is gonna automatically happen when we create it. So, bada boom, bada bing. And public date time update, same thing we here. And we're not gonna update it unless we update something, and we're probably not gonna update anything in here. Okay, we're gonna go to this right here. We're gonna definitely put required, and we're also gonna put, it said a minimum 8 characters. Yep. So in here we gotta put a range. Is it range? We could put range. And we could just put 8 right here. It's gonna say, yo, it needs to have at least be 8 characters. Why is this giving me a headache? Range. 8 minimum. Okay, so maybe I did something wrong here. Maybe there's something here. No. We'll fix that later. Oh yeah, you know what? We could put I messed up because it's not a number. Your password is min length. Min length 8. That's what we need here. We're gonna do the display as well. See who loves me. Why everybody wants to talk to me when I'm doing this? Why? And we'll do the name again, and we're gonna put the equals, and we're gonna put password. And do I have a space in the display? Yeah, and then a space in here. Let me see the first name. Yeah, okay, that's how I do. I want to make sure they're all consistent. Now, this one right here, you're not gonna be is not being required. It's gonna be compared. So we type the word compare, right? And we have to put what was the other attribute we had to put here? I believe it's just password. Yeah. So it's just, now it's comparing to this password here. It's saying compare to what? To this password here. And we could like literally copy these two things. Well, not really. We don't need that. We're just gonna do the display. So let's just do the display. The name gets this, and we're gonna put confirm password. And once again, I'm gonna show you that if we don't do it this way, we're only gonna be able to see last name without it spread it out. So that's just to show you So this is basically our stuff taken care of. There might be something else here. I'm not 100% sure, but I would double check that later because we're gonna eventually see it on here. Registration concerns. Just see, I'll just look at it now. So yeah, oh yeah, data types. I'm glad I looked at that. Woo-wee. Almost forgot that, and that's important, but not super important. That we couldn't put it out later. So yeah. What this is saying is data type right here, and then you put in here, and you put data type again, and then you come in here. Okay, that didn't say data type properly. So data type, is it get passwords? Let me see. Let's go back there real quick to double check. Yeah, something like I said. Yeah, it's just data type dot password. Okay, I just want to make sure it's not a dot. So dot, that's not gonna work because I put that on password. So this right here, which is important, this is not only gonna make it so you can't see the letters that you put in it at all, but it's also gonna make it so, let's save it so everything's lined up. It's also gonna make it so it knows it's a password. So now all this is saying like this is a password type, this is a password type. I don't want nobody else to see it, and this is gonna confirm password right here. Compare the passwords to make sure they're the same. That's our models. Usually I would migrate right now, but yeah, we could do that, but we're not gonna do it. We're gonna go back here. We're gonna go through this sucker right here, and now we gotta make a context. Okay. So honestly, you could pretty much copy the inside of here right here, just a public class right there. All right, that's gonna make it easier. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna click right here so it could be outside the models folder. Click the folder and put context. Now, honestly, we could just put context inside the context file inside the models, but this makes it a little bit easier to see and it separates them because this is your context. This is this. All right, so we're gonna right click new class and we're gonna put user context, right? And the reason I like to do it like that is so I don't have to bring in a namespace and stuff like that. So we're gonna highlight this all, and we're gonna put user context back. But all right, we want this to be in fact, let's Control Z that again, and then we see how it's two of them the same. We're gonna Control D this like that and put user context. There you go. That's gonna fix half of that. So this right here is saying, yo, you need to bring something in. And let's bring it in. We need to bring the framework in. So it brings it in for us, gets rid of a lot of stuff. And this is gonna be user, all right? And we definitely don't want monster, we want users, right? So we're gonna make a list of users. So what is this saying? Yo, bring the stuff in, right? We need the models, we need to bring the models in. We're pretty much letting this stuff do its own stuff. So this is a shortcut copy and paste. I probably should write it so I can memorize everything, but I will let you know that the lowercase b, do not uppercase it. I'll show you. Do not put an uppercase b because it doesn't know what's going on here. The lowercase b is specifically designed for the .NET Core to be a context section of the methods and stuff like that. That's why you could actually, I think you can hover over it and it says it's part of the framework DB context. And it's an instance of something inside, all that good stuff. So this is actually done. Let's save it, make it look nice, beautiful, absolutely beautiful, reminds me of me. This is taken care of. This is pretty much taken care of. And here we go. What else is needed? Let's go back over here and see what else they want us to do before we make migrations. All right. We got to set up our JSON, the app settings.json. And it's kind of easy. And this right here, I will let you know. I'll show you. This whole file is pretty much set up for you when you add that stuff. What you need to do is add a comma here and then press Control V. And that's gonna make everything work right. What this is saying, hey, give me the information inside the database, and this is creating an SQL link connection. And it's saying, hey, go to the local host. This connection set string, and you got this is to you where your this right here is okay or not okay. The only thing you gotta change is the name of your database here. so it could match what you're doing. So they were using that. I'm gonna use log reg db. Bam. Technically, it should be registration and log reg log db, and you don't have to put db. I like to put db so I remember it's a database, and the name of the database, registration and login database. Bada boom, bada bing. Everything is very easy to do. All you gotta do is put some limp to this, like a leg shape. Oh, never mind. We're gonna come over here. This is done now. That's all we had to do. This is our link to it. Why make it harder than what it is, right? Just use what they give you. Okay, we're gonna keep going down. There's a startup class we have to fix. In our startup class, literally, we're gonna take this right here, this line right here. We are going to copy it, and we are gonna come back to the code and go to startup, and we're gonna paste it where it says configure services right here. We're also gonna bring in session. Do I really need? Yeah, we're gonna bring in session because we're gonna need it for one part. So the only thing you gotta change is this, just to be user context. I don't know why I deleted the whole word. And this is gonna say, yo, what the heck is that? So we have to bring in that user using the context. That'll clear that. And this is the entity frameworks that we have to bring in. So using Microsoft Entity Framework Core, and it brings it in for us. So why do all the hard work, right? So we're also gonna do another one underneath here called services, right? Dot add session, right? We're gonna do session. What is it at? Add session. This, that. And that does it here. And since we added this, I saved so it could automatically align it for me. Since we added in the configure section underneath any one of these, anywhere in here, it could be above it, underneath it, we're gonna put app.use session now, right? And then we do that, and now session is gonna is gonna end up being used eventually on our home controllers. So, and it's gonna talk about putting that line of code we need in the home controllers. All right, so what this is saying to us is we're going to use all this stuff that is already used for us. There's nothing else we actually have to change. We could delete some of this stuff. There's really no reason to. Might as well leave it in there. You might end up using it later on in life when you learn more. I'm still learning. This is our learning platform. We're on 20 minutes, 22 minutes. That's a lot of minutes. So as you can see, we're good to go from here. Like, there's a lot of stuff missing in the way their file is. And they do it on purpose so they don't have to be shown so much. All right, so on our home controller, right? In our home controller, let's go to the session page right here, and let's grab that one line of code that nope, we're gonna use that later. This should be in our home controller right here, because this is where we're probably gonna end up using the session. And so let's just add that line to get it out the way. Bam. We'll come back to that. All right. We got to use the HTTP services. That's how I know that's the session stuff. So now this is not the home controller. Let's control X out of there. Let's just go to our home controllers now. Oh well, before we go there, let's go to our view, our share, and our layout. You don't have to do none of this, but I literally do not like the footer in my stuff. And everybody wants to talk to me all of a sudden now. Everybody is texting me right now. So they're going to have to wait till I finish this video. All right. So we're not messing with this because it's going to render the body. And that's why you have that navigational system in the top. You could change all that around if you want. And make it really nice. Make it a lot nicer. Do whatever you want. I just don't like the footer section you see later. And we kind of don't need this privacy. We will come back and copy and paste this to go to the login section later, and we'll use it differently. Alrighty then. So let's get out of here real quick, and let's go to home. We got an index. That's pretty, but I don't like that stuff that's in it. I don't want to see that stuff when it pops. And we're gonna go to controllers now. We're gonna go to our home controllers. That's where we add this stuff that probably should have been added already. There you go. That's done. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of this private read-only garbage right here, and we're gonna get rid of this logger stuff. I don't really know what that's for. I probably will figure it out later when I'm done with the school. And then here we need to make a context of user context, right? So we go private, user context, DB, I capitalize it, DB context, and that's it for that. Now it's saying it's not in there, so let's put the using thing back up in here. Probably, it's already got the models in there, so we don't have to worry about that. And in here, we're gonna put a user context. All right, and we're gonna put context. All right, and what it's saying is right here. In our home controller, we want to get a database control, right? So we want to connect the user context to the context to get this database, everything like in the database working out, right? For the home controller. This is where we connect it to the database, so that makes sense now. And we're gonna come over here and put DB context gets context. It's that easy. Now we got the information to get the DB context to go back and forth and stuff like that here. We're gonna leave this alone for now. We probably don't need it at this time. The only thing I will do for this is I'm gonna add the route. I probably don't need the route, but we're gonna get it anyway, and we're gonna call it nothing. And that's for later use probably. We might use it later on in the project down the road that we're probably not gonna use this project down the road. I'm just doing it for old time's sakes. We don't need this public thing here because we got rid of the privacy view. We got that bad boy going. Let's see what else they want us to use. We here still. So that's what this was telling us to do right there. And you see how it's my context right here, which is there my context. So bada boom, bada bing. So now now this is just trying to show everything in that context. Now it's the this is gonna be called the login setup. All right. So we're gonna do login setup, and we're almost done. We're gonna make our first migration. Now I could copy and paste this, but I won't. We're gonna come here. This is gonna be our first migration. Look right here. It's gonna have it's gonna auto-populate a migration folder. So dotnet fu, right? And as you can see, you're gonna be adding We're gonna be adding our first migration. This is kind of like exactly like what they call it, the Django f migrations. Add, right? And then now you got to put the name of your first migration. You can put first migration, like first user migration. Okay, and we could put the dash v to, just in case there's an error. Hopefully it's not. We can see it. Let's just press enter and see what happens. Bam! Everything is working. Look at that so far. This is where the error comes up. Oh, I didn't mess up this time. So now we're gonna do the same thing, right? And we're gonna put is it database? I don't know if it's database before that. Let's double check. Shouldn't be. It should just be database. Yeah. It should be a migration database, and that's what I like about this. Oops. So you see the migration folder that just happened here, and then you got the .NET F, and it's database update, and that's all you really have to put. But just in case there's an error somewhere in this bad boy, you want to try looking at that. Now if you don't spell database correctly, it will mess up. Trust me, I did this video 14 million times. I'm joking. Done the video before. So now we got everything going. Now we could look in here, and if we refresh this, there's our database right there. We go to tables. We're gonna go to user table. We click on this little thing right here. I wish this was bigger so you could see better. And I don't know how to view zoom in with this. So we click here. It has user ID, first name, last name, email, created, updated, password, confirmed password. That's good to go. That is the setup. That is the very basic setup for login and registration. The next video we will create the registration, and then we will and if it's more than 30 minutes, we're gonna do the login one afterwards, because the login one we have to build another schema and migrate again. But before we go, let's just see if this sucker works. dotnet watch, run, and we come over here, come to the new thing right here, and then I got the C# thing going right here, and it works. There's literally nothing in there. If you wanted to fix that, you could go to index and say, look, there is something in here. Now, if you're wondering why you don't see me control saving, or you probably don't see the one that comes up over here, is because mine's on the auto save. So, man, look, there's something in here. Now you're happy. We all happy. Everybody's happy. I'm happy. Life's good. You know what I'm saying? Bada boom, bada bing. That's step one. All right. So let's stop this video because it's over 30 minutes. And I'll see you next video.